Very good morning. Myself Dr. Ruchi Gupta, Associate Professor, IT Department, Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College. Today we will discuss project management life cycle. So we have already discussed the concept of project management in my earlier demo classes. So now today we will discuss what is a project, what is the project cycle, and then we will discuss the whole cycle of project management, that how we can initiate the projects and how we can close the projects. So first one is the project. So first of all, project, what is project? So project, it is defined, it is a defined or a specific finite set of activity that produce an observable and measurable results and under certain persist requirement. So we can say that project, it is a set of programs. When we have to combine the programs, then it become a project, and it is a specific finite set of activities. So we have some specific time durations to initiate the process and to complete the whole process of any project. It is a planned activity. It is carried out to meet certain objectives, and it is basically, a project is basically a temporary endeavor to create a unique product or services. So when we have to make any project, so the outcome of any project, it may be a product or it may be any service. So till the time when we have to work on the we have complete the task, and we have to produce some deliverables, it is called project. And once it is ready for the deployment, then that time it become an product. So this is basically a major difference between project and product. So product is the final outcome of the whole process, and project, it is the basic runtime activity which we have to perform. So project, it is basically, it is a great opportunity for the any organization and individual to achieve the business and non-business objectives that are more efficiently implementing some changes. And basically project help us to make some changes in an organized manner and with reduced probability of the failure. So we can at the time of the development of any project, we have keep some things in our mind, that we make the project in flexible nature, so that if we want to make some changes after the implementation, that it can be easily organized or it can be easily managed and with some reduced probability of failure. And project, it differs from different type of work like process, task or procedure. So these are some different activities which we have performed during the development of any project. Like process, basically it is a set of activity. It is like initiation, development, closure. These are some process which we have performed at the time of implementation of any project. Task is also, this is a method through which we have task is entity which is to be performed during implementation, and procedure is the method through which we have to develop any project. So now first of all, we have to discuss the characteristics of project. So project is basically, it is a complete iterative process, that first of all, when at the time of business plan, once you have to make a plan of about your project, then you have to create some functions for the project creations, that it is a business plan. Then we have where it is to be settled now and how we can implement this. We have to check all these things during the development of project. And basically project has various characteristics, like at the time of project there is a planning is very much required, because if we have to develop any project without the planning, then 100% chances of project failure. So second is a predetermined time span. We also define a deadline of the whole project. So, because time is also the cost of the project is directly proportional to the time. If time will increase, then the cost may definitely will be increased. So, we also consider that these are the projects are predeterminants developed in a predetermined time span, and it is non-routine tasks are also involved in the project, and work is carried out for someone other than yourself. So, we cannot say that project development it is a individual activity, it is a group activity. So, each and every work is to be defined and distributed among the whole project members, and each and every person of that team is responsible for the project which is to be assigned to that person. So, these work is to be carried out someone another yourself. Now, resource is also a constant for the project. So, if we do not have any sufficient amount of resources, then we cannot develop the project in a specific amount of time. So, we also consider some points about the project, that resources also necessary for any project, and specific objective product should be outcome. So, always when we have to implement any project, then outcome of any project, it may be a product or any service. So, always project will always give some output in the form of product or service. It is very large and complex. So, if we have to compare the project with some any program, so program it is very a small activity or a small task where individual user can write the program and execute that program, but project it is a very large activity. So, number of members are involved in this process, and it is a complex process as compared to the program. And now, several phases are involved to develop any project. We initiate the process, we have prepare a plan before making any project, then we have to execute these plans, and finally we have to close the project. So, there are number of phases are involved in development of any project, which we have discussed later. So, now we come on the project life cycle. So, as we have seen that project, it is not a single activity, is a group of set of activity where we have to involve number of users who are responsible for each and every task. So, project we cannot say it is a short activity, even a shooting star has a time and life span. So, we have to develop any project with a specific time limit, which is defined by the team managers as per the requirement of the project. And project life cycle, it is spread over a period of time. So, we have seen now that it is this project life cycle is to be spread over a period of time, and there is some unavoidable gestation period for the complex activity involved in to attain the view. So, we have show this project life cycle in the next slide, and we have to see that how many activities are to be performed during the implementation on project, and how much time is required for the completion of each and every activity, and what are the deliverables of each and every set of steps. So, however varies from project to project, but it is means the time is to be it can be vary from project to project, but there is a specific time limit of each and every project. So, in general term, the time phasing of project planning activity common to most projects. So, that is why there is a need of some project planning about the timing, because each and every activity is to be completed as per the specific time span, and there are some certain stages of life of any projects. So, we have seen here there are certain phases of these project life cycle. Phase 1 is the concept phase, phase 2 is the development phase, phase 3 is the execution phase, and phase 4 is a transfer phase. So, we have collect or we have complete a different we have do different activity in a different phases. So if we are talking about this first phase, that is a concept phase, so in that phase we have to just gather the information, we have collect the data as per the user requirement, we have to understand the user need, what they want to implement, and then we have to collect the data as per the user requirement. Then we have to uh, create one goal about the project, and then we have to check some economically is it feasible or not, and we have to identify the resources which are required for the development of software as per the requirement. Then we have also considered the risk about the project, and if we have to consider the risk about the project, the risk may be it may be a schedule risk, it may be a time risk, it may be a finance risk, it may be operational risk. So we have to consider all the risk during the requirement phase. Then once we have to collect all the requirements, then we have to verify. Then we have to go into the next phase of this project life cycle, that is feasibility development phase. So in this phase we have just make a feasibility study of the project. We have to create a work breakdown structure of that product. Then in the work breakdown structure, we have to divide the whole task into the number of parts, and initiate the project. Then we create a team of that project to make any project, and we have to assign a specific task to each member. We also make a budget of the project, because it is also an important part of the project. As we have already told that if the time span is increase, then the cost will automatically increase. So we have to define some approximate budget about as per the time. We have to give the budget to the customer, and we have to work out as per the budget on the project. Then financing and cash flow, this is also part of development. Then we come on to the execution part. Basically in this execution part, we have to make a whole project, we have to implement the whole project. In that case, there is a need of some planning and scheduling. So we have to apply this planning and scheduling. So for that planning scheduling, we use some CPM part chart. For that purpose, work is to be assigned, and we have just do some complete detailed design, then execute the whole process. Then we have performed some testing and monitoring in this execution phase, and then finally we come on to the transfer phase. Basically in that phase, we are ready for the deployment of the software to the customer. So training before the deployment of the software, first of all we have to give training to the stakeholders which are directly involved for the they are just want to use that system. So we give training to that users, customer is one of them, and finalizing all the system, then transfer the responsibilities. And now because now your system is going into the maintenance phase, then if there is any changes are required, so in that case we also consider and reassign the team for the changes, and finally we have to close all the records and deliver the final reports to the customer. So basically it is a project life cycle, and now we have to see that how we can manage these cycles. So for the management, first of all we have to know that what is a project management. So project management is basically a process of leading the work of a team to achieve all the project goals with a given constraint. So basically as we have seen in the previous slide that Project life cycle is the set of activity where we have to initiate the project, and then we have to develop, execute, and finally the closure is the phase. So management is basically, it is a part of manage the whole activity, how we can manage the project in a step by step process, and how we can deliver the project into a specific time duration, because there is a given constraint is there for any project. So this information is usually described in project documentation. So we have to prepare the document for the project, and all the information is given in that documentation that is created at the beginning of the development process, or we can say it is SRS document, which is to be prepared by the developer, and that is a software requirement specification. It is a legal document that is to be signed by the customer as well as by the developer. So here we have to just define all the primary constant, scope, time and budget at the very initial phase of project life cycle. Now the secondary challenge is to optimize the allocation of necessary inputs and apply them to meet predefined objectives. So it is also required that we have to assign the inputs, we have to use some resources which are required for the software. So these are some conditions for the project management. Now what is the objective of project management? So the major objective of project management is to produce a complete project which complies with client or customer objective. So we can say that the main objective of project management is that to deliver a project to the client that is as per the requirement of the customer. So if any project is as per the requirement of that customer, so it means we can say that it is a complete project. So in many cases, the objective of project management also to shape or reform the client briefs feasibility address the client's objective. So because we have already taken the requirement from the customer at the very initial phase, so as per the requirements of the customer, we just want to deliver the project to the customer so that they can satisfy. Now once the client's objectives are clearly established, and they should influence all the decision made by other pupils which are involved in the project, for example project manager, designer, contractors, subcontractors. So once we have to receive the requirements from the customer, now all the stakeholders like of the company, like project managers and designers, contractors, tester, subcontractors, they will work on that and they will satisfy the objective of client or customer, because the ultimate goal of this project management is to deliver a project to the customer as per that requirement. So it defines or two highly prescribed project management objectives are determined to decision making. So these are some objectives of project management. Now we come on the benefits for using this project management approach. So still we can develop any project without project management. So what is the benefit? So if we are not using this project management concept, so the project which is delivered to the customer, it may be over time, it may be over budget, it may be it may not satisfy all the requirement of the customer. So we can say that if we are using this concept, project management concept, so we can deliver the project to the customer within the time schedule, within the budget, or with some all features which is required by the customer. That's why we are using project management concept, because they are handling, they are monitoring, they are reviewing the whole activities which is performed during the implementation. That's why we have to deliver a quality software to the customer. So project management approach will help to handling a complex, costly and risky assignment by providing interdisciplinary approach to handling the assignment. For example, R&D organizations. So, this is one of the major benefit for using a project management. We can handle easily, we can handle a complex, costly or risky assignment, because we have to perform all the complete process to a set of activity, and we can get some deliverables at each and every step. So, we can easily identify the progress of the project. Now, project management approaches help in the assignment in a specific time frame, as we have already discussed that there is a need of a specific time limit. Now, example, handling customer orders by industry involved in production of capital goods. So, we can deliver the project within time so that they can use efficiently. Now, project management approach, they provide a task orientation to personnel in an organization to handle assignment. For example, organizations in IT sectors, they handling software development assignment for the clients. They have to work with the clients and they have to handle all the assignments for the client. Now, we come on the project management life cycle. So, this is our this is a complete diagram of project management life cycle. This is our project management life cycle. We have to just start from this phase, that is a project initiation. Then after completion of this project initiation, we will go for the project planning. Then once we have to plan about the project, then we have to finally we have to execute these plans as per the planning, and finally we have to close that project. And if suppose there is some requirements are missing and something is missing, then we have to repeat this process again. So, this process will be iterated again and again until we have to deliver a quality product to the customer. So, basically there are four phases of this project management life cycle: initiation, planning, execution and closure. So, in the project initiation, we have to just give the project definition of any project. Then in the planning, we have give the complete planning process about the project. Then execution, and we have to just execute the project as per the planning, and monitoring and controlling it is a regular process. And finally, we have to provide the post implementation review process. So, these are basically four step of project management life cycle which we have to consider. So, the first one is a initiation process. So, in the initiation process, it is involves in starting up of project by documenting business cases, feasibility study, terms of references, appointing the team and setup of office. Basically, in the project management life cycle, we have not focus on the implementation of project. In that case, in this case of project management, we have to just focus on the management of the project, that how the project is to be start, what type of resources are required for any project, what will be the time limit as per the requirement, and what is the budget, what type of resources are required for any project. So, we have just focus on these things. So, initiation of any project, it is starting up of any project. So, once we have to start the project by documenting a business case, we have to create the feasibility study, we have to just give the terms of references, and we have to appoint a team as per the requirement and set up a complete project office. So, this is very initial phase. We have to just develop a business plan. We have to undertake a feasibility study, that in this phase we have just identified that is it feasible to make a new project or not. Then establishing the terms of references about the project, and we have the project manager will appointing a project team like team leaders, team members, tester, developers, So the project manager will appoint this project team who will completely focus on that project which they want to start, then set up a complete project office. So, and finally we have to perform the review phase, that the all work is to be initialized or not. We have just review and verify this first phase of project management life cycle, that is initiation. Now, once initiation phase is to be completed, then we have to insert into the next phase of this management life cycle, that is planning. So, in this planning, we have to create a whole roadmap of the project. We have to make a plan of various activities which we want to perform, and or we can say that which we are ready to perform in the next phase of this project management life cycle. So, we have to plan for each and every activity, or we can say that we have to setting out the roadmap of any project by creating these following plans. So, the plan, these plans are like project plan, resource plan, financial plan, quality plan, acceptance plan, communications plan. So, these are various plans which are to be created before the execution of any project, because all these plans in the next phase, all these plans will be executed sequentially. So, the first we have to create the plan, then create a resource plan, then create a financial plan, then create a quality plan, create a risk plan, create acceptance plan, create communication plan, procurement plan, contract to the supplier, and finally we have to again review the planning activity or this step. So, once we have to make all the plans regarding the project, then finally it is very easy to implement those plans which we have already created in the planning phase. Now, the whole task is to be executed as per the plan and as per the specific deadline of that plan. So, the third step of this project management life cycle is execution. So, in the execution, we have to build a deliverables and control the project delivery scope, cost, quality, risk and issues. So, the plans which we have already make in the previous step. So, now the time of execution of all the plans, and we have just monitors and control all the plans, and we can say that we have to just check the progress of the project as per the project plans. So, as we have already discussed that we have to create these plans. So, perform time management, risk management, issue management, cost management, quality management, procurement management, change management, acceptance, communication, and finally we have to review all these plans which are executed properly or not. So, we have just checked the deliverables of each and every phase, check the quality and risk issues which are to be executed during this phase, and finally once the whole project is to be completed, then we have to go into the closure part of the project. So, closure it involves winding down of any project by releasing the staff, by handing over the documents or deliverables to the customer, and for completing a post implementation review. So, basically once we have to complete the whole project, once we have to execute the plan accordingly, once we have to review and check the progress of the complete project, and now once our project is ready for the deployment, then before the deployment we have to just review all the complete project, because now it become a product, and now we have to just release the staff which we have acquired at the time of initiation of any project. As per the requirement, we have just acquired the team, for a particular project. Now that team is to be released now, and that team is to be assigned to another project. So each and every time once any project is to be assigned to any company, the project manager will acquire a team as per the requirement, and once the project is to be completed, then the project manager will release that team, and that team is now assigned to any other project. So it is the basically working culture of any company, and all the documents and deliverables will handing over to the customers, because now your project is converted into the product and it is now ready for the use. So customer will use all these documents which are prepared during this implementation or execution process, and finally completing a post implementation review. So at the time the customer will use this product, the product will be will remain in the maintenance phase, and the company or the project manager will provide all the post implementation modifications, updates, and support to the customer, and they have finally they have to perform some project closure and review project completion. Means the first one, the project is to be completed, then all the deliverables will handed over to the customer. They have to just release the staff, and they have to provide all post implementation modifications, and they have to provide the support for the review and maintenance of that project. So as we have seen here that the project management life cycle, it is basically a set of activity through which we have to control and manage the software. We have not focused on any implementation of any project like SDLC, that is a software development life cycle, where the focus is to the complete focus on about the development, analyzing, designing, coding, testing and maintenance of any project. But in the project management life cycle, we have just focused on the some activities through which we have to complete our task, through which we have to completely deliver our project in a specific time limit with some specific budget or with all resources. So we have just focus on these activity in a project management life cycle. We have not focused on the SDLC activity. So that's why it is called a project management life cycle. So we have not compared it with any other activity of development activity. We have just focused on the management activity of any project. So thank you very much.